the ruler of heaven and earth, we beseech thee to inspire and guide all our actions, so that we may always walk in the path of justice, love, charity to one another. Help us with the grace to do only those things that will promote the unity, peace, happiness, prosperity of Nigeria in general and Lagos State in particular. Amen. Let us go through the vote and proceedings let us go through the vote and proceedings of Ọjọ́bọ̀ ọjọ́ kejì oṣù kẹsàn-án ọdún kẹtàlélọ́gbọ̀nlélẹ́gbàá. Ojú ìwé kìíní. Ojú ìwé kejì. Aṣòfin Tèmítọ́pẹ́ ẹ̀ṣin olùdarí, mo rí pé orúkọ mi yọ ní orúkọ ara àwọn tí wọ́n wà mo lè gba àyè lọ́wọ́ olórí. Akọ̀wé àgbà ẹgbẹ́ bá ìṣàtúnṣe fún. Ojú ìwé kẹta. Ojú ìwé kẹrin. Lẹ́yìn àyẹ̀wò fínífíní ẹ̀kára lẹ́yìn àyẹ̀wò fínífíní mo fi òǹtẹ̀ tẹ̀. Mr. Clark, any message from the governor?
Mr. Speaker, sir, distinguished honorable members, there is no message from the governor.
Other announcement?
There is none, ma'am.
Petitions?
None, ma'am.
Matter of urgent public importance? Majority Leader.
Right, Honorable Speaker, distinguished colleagues, good afternoon. I rise this afternoon to commend the Southwest speakers for visiting us in the Lagos State House of Assembly and for visiting the most experienced lawmaker in Africa, Right Honorable Dr. Mudashiru Ajayi-Obasa. Let me commend Right Honorable Taiwo Oluomo, the Speaker of Ogun State, for coming. Thank you very much, sir. Let me also commend Right Honorable Adibo Ogundoyin of Oyo State House of Assembly. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for coming, sir. Right Honorable Adeoye Aribasoye of Ekiti State House of Assembly. Thank you very much for coming, Mr. Speaker. Right Honorable Adewale Egbedun of Osun State House of Assembly. Thank you very much for coming. Right Honorable Olamide Oladeji coming. Once again, let me thank the Southwest speakers for visiting us at this Lagos State House of Assembly. It shows that Right Honorable Dr. Mudassir Abbasa's leadership has been tested across Nigeria, and not only in Nigeria, in Africa. Right Honorable Dr. Mudassir Abbasa was the former chairman or conference of speakers of legislators in Nigeria. And while he was the chairman, the Southwest speakers commended him that he took their welfare issue, and then he was the person that fought for the autonomy of legislators in Nigeria today. And I believe that all the legislators in Nigeria today are benefiting from that legislative achievement. However, without wasting much of our time, there is a saying by a philosopher: if your action inspires others to learn more, to do more, and to act more, it shows you are a leader. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Ajomaye.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise this morning to move an urgent motion, and which will be of the delight.
Sorry, Honorable Ajomaye. I thought you also wanted to speak in line with the majority leader.
I'll come back.
Honorable Ajomaye.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I also want to join the majority leader to commend the Southwest speakers for the courtesy visit which they paid to the Speaker of Speakers. As they have said, they have identified our Speaker, Right Honorable Dr. Mudassir Abbasa, as the leading light in the legislative arm of government. They also commended him on his giant strides towards the development of the legislative arm of government. However, they came in search of the new leadership which is to emerge, and they have identified with the leadership of Right Honorable Mudassir Abbasa as the leading light to also lead them to the next level. So they all came here to speak to him and to seek his support on who becomes the next chairman of the Conference of Speakers. And he was able to show them round and to also give the privilege to we honorable members to meet the Southwest speaker. So I want to commend him for the job he's been doing. He has shown that he is more than a leader, that he is a pathfinder, and we commend all the Southwest right honorables that came to visit. We thank them for coming, and we hope that when they finish the next session of Cabinet of Speakers, it will be within one of them. Thank you.
Honorable Elliott. Thank you, my Honorable Speaker. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. May I align myself as well with the majority leader, Honorable Tim Kapen, to also energize the charismatic attitude of the Right Honorable Speaker, Dr. Mudassir Abbasa. Indeed, it was a wonderful moment. There is a saying that goes, saying that a prophet is not honored in his land. Indeed, may we never take it lightly the enormous work our great speaker has been doing. Indeed, in the whole of Southwest, from what we gathered yesterday, they assume and believe, and we all joined ourselves in believing that Mr. Speaker is doing the right thing, and it's so courageous of him to have decided to have brought everybody together from the Southwest region in making sure that they have a common voice. To this I say kudos once more. Mr. Speaker, you have done a great job, and we are still here behind you to throw all the support. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Honorable Olabi. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I would also like to join my colleagues in eulogizing the Right Honorable Speaker, Mudassir Abbasa. When the other speakers from Southwest came, they spoke extensively about how well and how rounded and how much knowledge that Abbasa actually has in the legislature, and how much work that he did as the previous chairman of the Conference of Speakers in terms of moving the legislature forward, especially for Lagos State. When they came, there was one thing that each one of the Southwest speakers said. They kept saying over and over again that Abbasa kept telling them that it's important to carry your House of Assembly along.
that the Speaker is the House is the Speaker, and all the members are one with the Speaker, and the Speaker is also one with every single one of the members. That shows that the Right Honourable Speaker of Asha is a leader that fights for his people and fights for the Assembly extensively. And that's a lesson that all of the Right Honourable Speakers from the Southwest also taught to us when they came and spoke to us here in this chamber. Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. I'm very happy that I was able to eulogize the Right Honourable on this particular issue. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I rise today to also lend my voice to what my other colleagues have stated, which is the visit of the Southwest speakers. It is of pride and great joy today that I stand before this House to eulogize an epitome of legislature as described by the speakers that came. It is, however, good to also mention that out of all the 36 state speakers of the State Assembly, and I'm sure I'm speaking for every other member when I say this, that we recognize that we have the best and we appreciate it. However, Mr. Speaker, I know that if there was an opportunity for Mr. Speaker, Right Honourable Mudashiru Adayabasa, to actually chair the Conference of Speakers for another term, it would have been most appropriate. But because it is good to live when the ovation is the loudest, and of course the other speakers have actually given him that opportunity to be the mastermind of the legislature and the leader that they have recognized. However, we appreciate them for having deemed it fit to come and celebrate with us, to come and discuss with us, to come and appear and have a look at what the Lagos State House of Assembly is like. And of course, as the Speaker of Speakers, as he was duly recognized, we can only pray that they learn from his words of wisdom, just as they are about to embark on the mission to select a new leadership, because he has a unique foundation of knowledge when it comes to legislature. So I stand here before you today to thank God to be a part of this legislature as of today. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Sahab. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to this afternoon lend my voice to what the majority leader has moved concerning the visit of the Southwest speakers. For me, it's not only about leadership. Followership matters. And that was what happened here when we received them. It is good for us to have good leaders, which we have plenty of it. In Right Honourable Dr. Mudashiru Adayabasa, who has done so well for the legislative arm of government in terms of protecting the institution and ensuring that the sanctity of the House is maintained at all times. But I also came to realize that followership matters, and if followership can measure up with leadership, definitely Nigeria will be in the best place for us. To this, I want to thank Right Honourable Mudashiru Adayabasa for taking the Southwest speakers around all the facilities available in this institution, including libraries and every other thing. That shows that it has taken time for Lagos State to get to where we are. It has taken time for the House of Assembly to get to where we are. And it is no means saying that we are really above common standard of excellence. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. Thank you. Deputy Chief, the Speaker, thank you for the privilege to also comment on the motion, or the comment of the majority leader on this particular matter. I'm really happy for one particular thing that I saw yesterday, and that has to do with the solidarity, the togetherness, the oneness demonstrated by the speakers of the Southwest. They all came here yesterday. I
all of them are paying glowing tribute to our speaker, and I was really proud yesterday to notice that they were all looking, they were really appreciative of him. In fact, when we got the wind that the speaker of the speakers at the national level is this zone to the southwest, we all tried in vain to prevail on our speaker, the Raphael speaker, Dr. Muda Ichiro of the LSHA, to take up the mantle again for what he has been doing. Although, he vehemently, declined our position that we wanted him again because every part of the country, all the speakers have been saying one good thing or the other about our speaker. And we wanted him to also go back there, but he said no. It's better for him to leave when the ovation is loudest. So we really appreciate what happened yesterday. It shows so many things. It gives us a lot of things about what is happening in the Southwest. That all the speakers of the Southwest, they are all together. That means all the legislators of the Southwest are all together. When there are motions or when there are issues that concern the national issue, we all work together. So I was happy yesterday, and I want to commend my speaker, the Raphael Dr. Buddha for what they have been doing and continue to do that because they have been, ensuring that the legislative arm of government is given their rightful place. And that is why we all want to commend him. We appreciate what happened yesterday, and we want to commend all the speakers too, that we continue to work together. Thank you very much. And I wish thank you, Mr. Speaker. My colleagues have said a lot, so let me just add a few. Let me thank the Southwest speakers for coming to visit our speakers, the brain of legislative activities in Nigeria. He has proven that while he was chairman conference of speakers. And what struck me very, very well yesterday was the speakers that were here, the Southwest speakers. They called him the leader of speakers. And that was very dear to my heart, because as a leader, he shows that he's a very kind, very focused, and is somebody that carries other people along. Like my honorable colleague mentioned, Mr. Speaker refused after everybody, even the speakers of Nigeria, were asking him to run again to become speaker. The speaker of conference of speakers zone to the Southwest, and they were practically pleading with him to go again. He said, no, let my colleagues from other Southwestern states to take up that mantle. That is great. That is a mark of leadership. And I thank God, mighty God, and that speaker is our product. And I'm proud to be a member of this House of Assembly under his leadership. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Chairman. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Without playing politics or playing to gathering, I want to first and foremost commend the speakers from the Southwest for visiting us in Lagos and for commending gloriously about our activities. Secondly, I want to commend them for believing in our speaker, for believing in me as a leader who has led them well and who they feel they can rely on any day, any time. So we thank them so greatly. I want to appreciate them for seeing in our speaker what our leader saw in me. So we appreciate them. And we want to commend our speaker, Dr. Buddha to continue the good job. I pray that God will be with you and God will continue to strengthen you. And I want to commend all members for coming together to stand as one. And that is the beauty of the Parliament. Coming together to stand as one. I feel this House will continue to work stronger and God will continue to fortify us. Thank you very much. God bless. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Apologies again for dropping the gun earlier. I would also like to lend my voice in commending the efforts of our Right Honorable Speaker, Dr. Mudashiru Ajayi-Obasa, for doing such a great work of keeping the House together. I noticed that all the speakers and colleagues ahead of me have been our ranking members, so I thought it necessary that those of us who are coming in for the first time should also have a say and let people know that even we that are coming for the first time have had a place of belonging. The Right Honorable Speaker has made it very comfortable for us. We've had all the necessary trainings that is necessary for us to be the best legislators that we are today. And it doesn't make any sense not to say that Lagos State is recognized as the #1 state of excellence with the support of this legislative arm under the leadership of our Right Honorable Speaker, Honorable Mudashiru Ajayi-Obasa. So we want to also add our own voice to let people know, and the speakers who came to visit us, that those of us who are coming new, we're standing as very strong legislators because of this same leadership. And I would also state clearly, just as my senior colleague, Honorable Lisa, mentioned, that the leadership is not just about being one person that is doing everything, but also allowing those who you have mentored to also take charge. And in that vein, what I mean by that is the speaker who was supposed to, and who I believe all of us wanted to support him to go back again to be the speaker of speakers across Nigeria. But in his own wisdom, he knew that it's not necessary for him to keep doing this without allowing other people the opportunity. So I want to commend his leadership skills, I want to commend his efforts, and I also join my voice to say thank you to the speakers who came visiting, and I hope that they've been able to take something back from Lagos to their own states. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Duarte. Good afternoon, Mr. Speaker. I want to say a very big appreciative to the speakers that came to the state to come and visit us here. All kudos to our speaker, Mr. Right Honorable Mudashiru Ajayi-Obasa, who has prepared his house very well and made people sleep. Because Lagos State has been prepared very well. That was why other speakers from other states were able to come to us and visit us and see what we were really doing. And I know really that when we are going back, they are speaking a lot from here. We really appreciate them for coming, and we appreciate our speaker for everything he has been doing. All what doing good is what doing well. We thank him very much for that, and we will continue to support him. Because he said yesterday with our support, he has been able to move forward. Our support will always be with him, and every good thing he's doing shall always continue by him. I want to say thank you for that, and appreciate him very much for what he has been doing. Lastly, Honorable Gunjitme. Thank you, Madam. Honorable Gunjitme. Lastly, Honorable Gunjitme. Once again, I want to appreciate Mr. Speaker. Yes, senior colleagues are busy up here to energize the man of the moment. Speaker, Right Honorable Dr. Mudashiru Ajayi-Obasa. For those of us that are just coming in, my own team has also expressed some of my feelings that we came to be skeptical, not because we're outside there, but coming in to the House of Assembly, we are not disappointed. Yes, we've seen how he has come and how he has been a symbol of what we call Lagos, the state of excellence. It is not as if we don't disagree. It is not as if we don't have different backgrounds where we are coming from. But despite all this, teamwork still make Lagos tick. And we've seen the demonstration that Southwest speakers when they came in calling. And it's a blessing to us in action that they have something to take home. I want to agree that if the outside world there, the House Assembly doing its speaker's time is serious business. And we learn this because that is what we've learned from him. And we need to grow them to meet our expectations. As he's leading and we continue to pray that God will continue to guide him. And that we need to do more to meet up with expectations of the Lagosians. Once again, Mr. Speaker, I want
appreciate the leadership, both president and everybody on ground, because the outside world is saying much about us, and I want us to take it on. Thank you, Mr. Lee.
Thank you. Well, let me join my other colleagues to say a very big thank you to the speakers of the southwest states of Nigeria that came to Lagos. We appreciate them. We say thank you for believing in the leadership style of our speaker, Right Honorable Dr. Mudashiru Ajayi Obasa, for believing in him, for seeing him as a leader, not minding that they are also colleagues. We appreciate you, and we pray that we shall all arrive at a various state in one mind and peace. On that note, Mr. Clark, I would appreciate, on behalf of this House, let us do a letter of appreciation, thanking them for coming and thanking them for believing in the leadership style of our Right Honorable Speaker. Thank you. Other matters of urgent public importance. We will turn to Joseph. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm here this morning on a matter of urgent public importance that has to do with flood being experienced by my constituents. At the beginning of the year, Nigeria's Meteorological Agency always predicted in respect of the downpour for the year. And that is why the Ministry of the Environment and the Office of the Drainage Services always prepare for the expected and unexpected downpour. But recently, if you can see what is going on in the state, the level of the flood being experienced all over the state, most especially in my area, Oyoduni State, and New State, Eke, Ikoto, Ijebu, Eke, Ikoto, White Sand, and lots of people's houses have been submerged, properties have been destroyed, people are homeless, as we are talking as at this morning, especially during this torrential rain that fell between yesterday and this morning. So the challenges we used to have that, we have three types of drainages. We have our tertiary one, which is the smallest one within our community. The secondary one, which is the next, and the primary drainage, which is our canal. Unfortunately, we discovered that most of these drainages have not been deseated, and also lots of all these drainage, the canal, are not being canaled. These are some of all those things that have given us a lot of problem. I discovered that before we used to see drain dogs walking on our streets. It has been a very long time seeing those people doing that, walking again. Likewise, the EFAD. The EFAD, this is an emergency flood abatement department under the Ministry of the Environment. You don't know the job they are doing. This has been causing us a lot of these challenges we are facing. That's why we know that the causes of flood used to be either natural cause or man-made cause or abuse of the drains. But sincerely speaking, this one that has to do with us, most especially the government, what have we done in preparation of this blockage? And the funniest part of it that some of the areas that we used to have flash flood, if the flash flood means that the water, even if you have the flood, within few hours, the flood will go away. You discover that they are still there after 3 or 4 days. Most especially people going to LSHA, you still see the water. It means the drains are not being carried and have not been played. And all the systems, we have system 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, have not been carried. So maybe those are some of those causes that are giving us this problem. So I'm not pleading that my prayer goes us, Right Honorable Speaker, that the House should call the permanent secretary, Office of the Drainage Services, that he should come and brief the House on the preparation made so far, before, during, and after the rains, in respect of the visiting of the drains. Also, that the Ministry of Environment should urgently call a stakeholders meeting to have a synergy between the local government and the Ministry of Environment in addressing the tertiary drainage challenges in the state, and that the Ministry of Information and Strategy should intensify addressing sensitization and advocacy in respect of inappropriate dumping of refuse in the drainage by the citizens. And lastly, to call on Ministry of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs to relocate and assist those that their houses are been submerged by water and properties. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Ajamaye. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I also would like to stand in support of the motion that has been raised by Honorable Kehinde Joseph concerning the flooding in Lagos State. It is very, very sad that I also have my constituency just next to Honorable Kehinde Joseph, and we are facing the same challenges. And one of the major problems that we have is that the canal itself that actually channels this water into the waterways is blocked off. It is not properly cleared. And these are some of the issues and problems that we are facing, and why we keep having this flood flashes and flood incidents. Lagos State has been noticed as one of the interconnected disaster risks, as one of the biggest cities in Africa, and that's because of the sea level. So it is something that we shouldn't take for granted, and also make sure that the state government puts in the maximum that they can do to ensure that this flooding, flash flooding and all of these things should be subsided, especially for the residents of Lagos State. We look at in increasing, even there was an article even by the state that released that there's a possibility of having a severe flood flash within the state. So if the state is aware of this, the question is, what are we doing about it? So I want to support the prayers of Honorable Kehinde Joseph, but most particularly on the point of having the Ministry of Information to ensure that people are carried along in understanding the disadvantages of making sure that, or ensuring that refuse are not dumped in the drainages and canals and even the gutters as well. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I also want to join my voice to that of Honorable Kehinde Joseph and my other colleague regarding the flooding in Lagos State. I also had the same experience in my constituency. Many houses were flooded. System 2 actually passed in my constituency. And we have been having a lot of problems. And I believe it's because the canal has not been completed, and there is no maintenance work being carried out on it. I also experienced it on Friday night at Ikodu Road. In fact, it was shocking to me that Ikodu Road could be heavily flooded. I saw the car in front of my car was completely submerged at Pangu bus stop. I saw it. It was shocking that at Pangu bus stop, the flood can show me that it can cover up a car. I saw it with my 2 eyes, and I felt it is very, very terrible. And that's why I want to join my prayers in that of American said to call the Office of Drainage Services. What are they doing about the drainage in Lagos? What is their plan? This is September. We knew this flood was coming. There are warnings. What are the things we put in place? And what are these we are going to put in place so that it doesn't continue? Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Simon. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Good afternoon, honorable colleagues. The issue before us this morning, brought to the fore by the proponent, Honorable Kehinde Joseph, is one that is becoming fast once and is a lot vexatious. Vexatious in the sense that virtually year in year out, you come here into this Army chamber to talk about challenges of flooding without finding solution to it. We have a problem, we face it frontally and address it, so that when the rains come the following year, at least it will be abated to a large extent. But the reverse is the case. Mr. Speaker, I vote for us to put structure in place. The people in the Ministry of Environment, Office of Drainage, must wake up to their responsibilities. The story is not only palatable in my constituency. Think about Ogudu, Ogata, Ifakok, and Oworosoki. Life is becoming unbearable. Life is becoming unlivable and even meaningless. People are losing their property. Their properties are getting destroyed by the day during the rains. I don't want to agree less that there could be tailor-made, fit-for-purpose solution to this problem. So, Ministry of Environment has a lot of work on their hands. On this note, I want to totally align with the proponent of this motion and agree in total with his prayers. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, distinguished colleagues. This will not be the first time that we have brought this matter of flooding to this noble house. And over the years, we have also noticed a lot of things that we have raised that regards to flooding has not been addressed. Mr. Speaker, a publication came out some time ago that said in 2050 that the Lagos city would have been submerged by water. And knowing fully well that the Lagos state itself and its correlation to the sea level is quite alarming. Mr. Speaker, we have a problem with flooding not just in local governments but the entire Lagos state. And I remember the last time we had this conversation on the floor of the House, we raised different issues that could have led to the flooding, which also included dredging, which a committee was set up to also look into this. Mr. Speaker, I think there is more that has to be done in terms of enforcement. So I want to join Honorable Kennedy Joseph to also say that it is time for us to call on the Ministry of Environment and Drainage Services to immediately begin the silting of our drainages and also to start clearing the canals. Knowing fully well that we are going into the rainy season and we are expecting a torrential rainfall. So before we call them to come to the house, I think they should first of all mobilize to go across the state and start the silting and clearing drainages. Also, if it is possible for us to reintroduce the environmental sanitation, where citizens are saddled with the responsibility of also clearing their own drainages in front of their house. We should introduce and enforce that whoever is caught dumping refuse into the drainages during the rainy season should be penalized immediately. Mr. Speaker, I also want to use the opportunity to call on LSHA to begin effective collection of waste along the roads, so that people will not start dumping this refuse back into the drainages that then will end up blocking the canals. Mr. Speaker, at this point, I just want to support the mover of this motion, and I hope our prayers this time will be answered too. Thank you.
Honorable Tijani Farad, thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Let me first of all commend the prime mover of this motion, Honorable Kennedy Joseph. The rate and the level of which flooding is taking over the state of Lagos State is getting out of hand. And And we all agree that Lagos State is an aquatic splendor on which goes around by water. And we all know that our land is below the sea. There must be a preparation before the rainy season. And there are some factors that need to be considered about this project. Most especially the way we dispose our refuse. And of course, the setback of the canals are totally enclosed. I want to take the president of the Prime Minister to also add it to his prayer that the Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development should also look into those people that impose the water laws. This is one of the factors that cause a lot of flood in Lagos State today. And this is continuing to increase on a yearly basis. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you for this opportunity. Thank you. Honorable Elliott.
Thank you, Madam Honorable Speaker, once again. May I seize the opportunity to thank Honorable Joseph for bringing this to the fore.
Right, Honorable Speaker, in understanding this issue of flooding, we must know the statistics on what has been happening in the past few years. That will give us an idea on how to appreciate this situation. In the year 2021, from January to August, we recorded 713.4 millimeters of rainfall. In 2022, we recorded from January to August, we recorded 848.1 millimeters. This year, 2023, we recorded from January to August 1,128.6 of rainfall. This shows an addition between 2021 and 2022, giving us the same amount, less 400 millimeters of rainfall in 2023. It shows, Madam Speaker, that there is an increase in rainfall. It will continue to increase. This is besides the fact that the Osun River is also being overflooded. So besides the rains coming from the heavens, we also have them opening the dams and these rivers for rain to come. So Lagos is already in a very, very dire situation. Just like Honorable Abiwani said, that in 2050, Lagos, by the grace of God, will not submerge, but stands that risk. The question is, what are we doing to prepare and to set ourselves ahead of time so that we do not have this problem? Madam Speaker, I want to explain one major problem we have. That already in August, September has already been said that it's going to have the highest amount of rainfall that will be coming. We have problems of people having setbacks, people building upon drainages. We have problems where even canals are not being cleared. The silting of drainages is not only to Lagos State. The local government also must understand that all tertiary drainages are the responsibilities of the local government. So in addition to the prayers of Honorable Ken Joseph, not only should they call the local government, but local government administration must work hand in hand with the Ministry of Environment, the Ministry of Information. All of these ministries must energize together in making sure that we look towards the future. Otherwise, we'll be in very dire straits. Thank you very much. Honorable Sahab.
Once again, Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity. Without standing in modesty, the issue of perennial flood in Lagos has come to a point where we need to do things differently. Every year there are budgetary allocation for clearing all the systems that we have in Lagos, from 1 to maybe 6 or 7. What have we had from this? Every year we bring up money from the state cover to go and clear these drainages. And after what happens, the following year we do the same thing. Of course, we are not going anywhere. We need to think holistically, to change the approach to the maintenance culture of our drainages. Some of these drainages are surrounded by harsh materials. There is no fence by their side. At the end of the day, whatever fence we have removed from this canal ends back into the canal. Even Office of the Drainage Service, when they do their dredging, they don't cut away in most cases. So we are doing the same thing with the same method. we don't expect to have different results. This problem is not particular to LSHA alone. If you come to my constituency, there are areas that are already submerged. If you go to Ridley, for example, go to Sumura, go to Juri, every day they cry for the government assistance to support them to ensure that they have peaceful environment to live in. Coupled with this, that diseases that come with this. Malaria is so common in this area because the water is not going. People fall sick all the time. So I want to thank my colleague Honorable Kondisi for bringing this up, and that we should call relevant agencies that matters in providing solution to this problem. If they have problems to do with use of funds, let the House know, let the governor know, so that these things can be done on time. I want to say, I'm not a prophet of doom. As a Benin dam might be open very soon. Another dam might be open very soon. So Lagos should be prepared. We all need to be prepared. Thank you very much. Honorable Sir, Mr. Speaker, my colleagues have said a lot. But Honorable Joseph, I want to thank you for bringing up this issue, very genuine. But I've been several years. You come here, the rains come, you say exactly the same thing. You raise money, clear the street, call on the public not to put refuse in the bins, and we go on again to the next week. It used to be okay because you get the same volume of rain. So our drainages, our gutters, primary, tertiary, secondary systems, they could handle the water then. But like Honorable Desmond mentioned, the volume of rain has increased. So our drainage system, our bucket, can it take that volume of rain? No. We are very near the sea level. As it's raining here, it's raining everywhere. The sea levels are higher. The water will stay on our streets because the sea levels are higher. It will not drain. There is nothing we can do about it. If we clear all our gutters today, let them be empty of the current size, with the current size, you will still get the water on the road. So, I like what Honorable Eddie Bishop has said. Maybe the PS training to come and stand in front of us. I think this problem is bigger than what we're looking at. Lagos is an aquatic splendor like mine. Our colleague, Honorable Tikani mentioned. But like a state that is in a part of a tornado or is an earthquake-prone area, we need to do something more. I don't have a solution, but I know in a country like Singapore, what they did, if it's still working now, was they calculated the volume of rain they're expecting for the next 50, 100 years, and they built big canal ways that can hold that water while it seeps back into the sea. They have the same topology as we have in Nigeria. So that was a solution. So we need a summit that we can sit down and actually see how we solve this problem, because the systems we have cannot cope with the volume of rain that is coming down based on climate change and the rest of it. While we are at that, I want to support my honorable colleagues' prayer, which is we have to inform the people they should move to safer grounds. The government is doing that. Let's make more money so they can move to safer grounds. We dispute what we have now, clear them up so that we can manage it. For now, we pass all the information around, which is best management. But beyond that, we need to understand. Lagos is even at the base of Nigeria, next to the sea. Any dam they open up there is open down this way.
Lado Dam is affecting, the one in Cameroon is being opened, is already affecting every other way. And as the rain goes on, they have to open the dam. And the dam will be opened very soon. It's a matter of time because the volume of rain. So we need to look for some other solution. And I think the summit will help us. But as it is, I do support everything my honorable, the prayers of my honorable colleague here to support honorable Shadi. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. From what my colleague just said about the honorable Shadi on the issue of Singapore. Singapore has a very stringent policy on climate change. When we're talking of this issue of flooding now, flooding is all about the effect of climate change. But are we prepared for climate change in this country? No. Look at it, what my colleague, Honorable Kennedy Joseph said on the issue of tertiary, primary, and secondary drainage channels. The tertiary drainage channels is the responsibility of the local government. When we were growing, the local government was carrying the drainage channels and they will fumigate. Where are we today? When you don't clear that, there's no way the water will flow to the primary and the secondary drainage channels. Definitely is better, everywhere is going to be flooded. So we should involve the local government authority, bring them on board. Let them go back to the way we used to do in those days. They must be having the release at the local government who are doing nothing today. They should involve them. Let them come out with plans for us. Every street must be clear. Every street drainage channels must be fumigated. And as we said also, we must also look at the issue of builders too. Builders, when they bring their building materials, they block the drainage channels. After the construction, they are gone. How do you expect the water to flow from that area to the other side? We are talking of flooding. What are we going to do about that now, Mr. Speaker? We should also stop the local government from starting from these people and let them ensure immediately they finish the construction, that area must be clear and the water must be able to flow. We are not doing that, we're still coming back here to be talking of flooding. There is connectivity, tertiary, primary, and the secondary drainages. There is no way the water will get to the canal if the tertiary is blocked. So, the PS physical plan, PS and the Ministry of the Environment, and the local governments should be called together. Let us synergize and ensure the state is free of flooding. Lastly, the local government and the lawman should embark on effective advocacy to ensure people don't dump their waste in the public drainages. The moment we don't do that, we will still be coming back to talk about flooding. So I support my brother, my colleague, Honorable Candy, his prayers, but we should also include all these things to bring the local government on board. Thanks. Lastly, Honorable Akinsaya. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Honorable colleague, good afternoon. First of all, I will commend the mover of this motion, Honorable Kennedy Joseph, and his family. Listen to this. Let me pick up from where Honorable Shadi stopped. When we talk of striking, very, very important. We cannot stop them, but we tell them to do the right thing. After doing the job, because they must be, builder must be. So they should do the needful. After they are building, they should make sure they at least the unit they make sure they clear it. I will say this, I'm in support of what Honorable Joseph said about this issue by inviting, we should not continue the same way we've been doing it. I got to agree with you. I
And advocacy is very, very important to our women. If you market woman, everybody, if you go to Duoye, go to LSHA, even any village will not even, no car can even pass you that information. So we need to do more. And I agree with Honorable Shao that said, I know my honorable member from Honorable Olumo, I agree with you that we should change our style. We cannot have the same thing, put something and we're expecting the same result. So that's why I'm in support of that prayer that we should call this man. Let him come and tell us what can we do about what we have been doing. That is very, very important. When you go to Fadi along the Korodu Road, you cannot even move ahead during the rainy season. So I'm in support of that. And the council as well, they should have at least maybe this permanent drainages or so ad hoc staff that they will be working at least for now, because we must work faster. It's a very, very important issue that need urgent. So we should treat this as an urgent matter, Mr. Speaker. So thank you for allowing me to speak this afternoon. I'm in support of this motion. Thank you very much.
Thank you, distinguished honorable members. I would also want to lend my voice to this matter of urgent public importance. First, no constituency is safe, or no constituency is not experiencing this. So talking about it is going to be all over again. Thank you, Honorable Joseph, for bringing this up. I think as a matter of urgent public importance, before we call the Ministry of Environment to come to the floor of the House to brief us, I think what is most important is to first and foremost move to the streets. Start the silting and cutting away of our drainages. Likewise, all the local governments, all hands must be on deck to ensure that they also do their part, clearing the silting and cutting away, getting everybody involved. Ministry of Information, we have been doing this year in, year out by sensitizing people on the ways to dispose their waste. But it's unfortunate that I believe by this stage we should have gone past still telling people the right way to dispose or discharge their waste. We need to get Ministry of Information involved, Ministry of Environment, to let them move to site and start doing the needful. And I think LSHA should also be on top of their job. It's not about the ministry disputing alone. LSHA should also be ready to cut away almost immediately, or else whatever that has been disputed will find their ways back into those drainages. And it's surprising if we are still at this stage still talking about environmental sanitation, locking up people. Do we need to lock up ourselves before we start cleaning the drainages in front of our premises? No. Let us all be responsible and take responsibilities for our actions, for the betterment of the people that we are representing. And let the citizens also help us by also doing the needful. So, Honorable Candidate Joseph, can we have your prayers?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. That as a matter of urgency, Ministry of Environment to urgently start the seating of the drains in conjunction with all the local government and CDs in Lagos, in the state, and do the cutting away immediately of the waste. Secondly, that the PS Office of the Drainage Services should be invited by the House to come and brief the House on the preparation made so far for the defeating of the state before, during, and after. That the Ministry of Environment should urgently call stakeholders meeting stakeholder meeting and to have a synergy between the local government and the Ministry of Environment in addressing the challenges affecting the tertiary drainages. That the Ministry of Information, as a matter of urgency, should intensify addressing sensitization and advocate in respect of inappropriate dumping of refuse in the drainages by the citizens. To call on Ministry of Special Duties and Transgovernmental Affairs to relocate and assist those that their houses have been submerged by water and property lost. And also, people living below the sea level should quickly relocate to a safer place. And lastly, that Loma should, it's a matter of urgency, as a matter of urgency, do the collection of waste along all the roads in the state. And also the Ministry of Environment should do more in enforcing the environmental laws. And those people, and lastly the Ministry of Physical Planning should take act to take away those encumbrances that are within the drainage services in the state. I so move.
Sorry, I think we should try not to muddle things up. What is germane, what is important now is flood. So let us leave it to flood. Issue of physical planning should be before another rain cycle. So let us limit our prayers to flood the silting catching away.
As amended by the Speaker.
All in favor?
2 seconds.
So, Honorable Watson.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I also second the motion.
All in favor? All in favor? Those against? The ayes have it. Mr. Clerk, please communicate to the appropriate persons. Personal explanation. None. Honorable General.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to also, with your permission, raise a matter of public importance.
Sorry, sir. I think, please sit down. I think, according to the rules of the House, we have exhausted that for today. So we'll push that forward to when next. Thank you. Report. Order of the day. Majority Leader.
Right, Honorable Speaker, distinguished colleagues, good afternoon once again. Order of the day, confirmation of Governor's nominee. Thank you very much.
Secondment. Honorable Kennedy, sir.
I write to second the motion has been moved.
All in favor? Those against, the ayes have it. In accordance with the section 192, part 2, chapter 6 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, on the confirmation of nomination for commissioners and special advisor, you may remember that the consideration of the nominee was stepped down to another day. That the nomination of Mr. Tolani Sule Akibu is confirmed. All in favor, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. This House hereby confirms the nomination of Mr. Tolani Sule Akibu for the appointment as a member of the Executive State Council. Mr. Clerk, kindly communicate the confirmation of Mr. Tolani Sule Akibu to Mr. Governor. Majority Leader, please approach. Majority Leader.
Right Honorable Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I have the approval of the Right Honorable Speaker to move that this House adjourn till 19th day of September 2023. I so move. At 12 p.m. Thank you.
Honorable Afeni.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I ask second the motion of moved.
This House stands. This House stands. This House stands adjourned till Tuesday, 19th of September 2023 at 10 a.m. At 12 noon. Those in favor, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it.